Okay.
So, but my voice is clear, all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Clearly.
Good. So, but how can I share my screen?
In the below button, you can press the share screen after assigning as the presenter. Okay.
Okay. So, sure. So in the left, there's a button which is plus, right? So later I click this one, right?
Okay. Okay, for moderator or MC, you can start the event.
Oh, okay, got it. I know
Okay.
how to share my screen. How to share? Yes, okay.
Okay, thank you. Abdul, suaranya belum masuk, Abdul. Boleh dibuka dulu. Silakan. Ya, baik. Dikarenakan ada kendala, Mas Abdul masih coba untuk join. Kita akan mulai untuk event pada pagi hari ini. Selamat pagi, good morning everyone. Hari ini kita akan mengikuti event dari AI Creation yang berjudul Build Global Digital Startup Utilizing AI Technology. Telah hadir bersama kita Mr. Randal Wang Feng. Good morning, Mr. Randal.
Good morning, Mbak.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone.
Okay, thank you. Jadi Mr. Randal merupakan Solution Sales Head Huawei Indonesia Computing Business Department. Sebelum kita masuk ke acara pada pagi hari ini yang nantinya akan dipandu oleh Mas Abdul Malik dari tim AI Creation, sedikit informasi mengenai AI Creation. So Randal, the first one, I would like to show to the participants about AI Creation event and also how to submit the proposal and joining this event. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. So AI Creation is an event that provided by BCII collaborated with Huawei Cloud, Outpro, and UPN University. We create this event in order to get or obtain the ideas from the participants and also get some the idea to build AI digital startup, and also we provide the features for building the digital startup such as cloud computing, software as a service, and so on. Ya, jadi kegiatan ini bertujuan untuk mencari ide-ide menarik ya untuk membangun digital startup terkait dengan AI, dan juga nanti akan diberikan fasilitas untuk membangun digital startup tadi seperti cloud computing, kemudian software as a service, dan lain sebagainya. Bahkan akan juga diberikan kesempatan untuk mendapatkan pendanaan, dan kita akan mempertemukan dengan angel investor. And then we will invite the angel investor to join this event in order to make this event visible to angel investor and get the opportunity collaborate with the participant. Ya, jadi di sini rangkaian ini terdiri atas, mungkin saya coba share screen terlebih dahulu. Oke, rangkaian ini tersusun atas beberapa bagian. Untuk informasi lengkap, bisa Bapak Ibu lihat di dalam Instagram AI Creation.id. Di sini informasi lengkapnya, jangan lupa untuk follow. Kemudian juga bisa melihat pada webnya di ai-creation.id. Sini. Jadi informasi lengkapnya nanti akan terus diupdate oleh panitia di Instagram ai-creation.id, YouTube, TikTok, dan juga LinkedIn. Ya. Untuk timeline, for the timeline, this 3-month mentoring and coaching from idea until the digital startup that running the business and also get the revenue that utilizing AI technology. Here the timeline. We have already done the kickoff in 31st August, yeah, and then continue to webinar and workshop for the roadshow until the end of October, and also the close submission in the late of October, and we starting the judgment or select the best ideas. 30 top startup will be selected as the finalists, yeah, in November. The mentoring and coaching will be organized in November until December, and all of the selected 30 team or participants will be given the features to establish the digital startup based on artificial intelligence, such as cloud computing, and then software as a service, and then mentoring and coaching from the co-founder of the digital startup, and also the expert, and so on. Ya, jadi nanti akan mendapatkan fasilitas ya untuk 30 startup terpilih untuk yang mengikuti kegiatan ini. Timeline-nya sampai dengan 31 Oktober adalah submission-nya. Jadi submission-nya itu sampai dengan 31 Oktober. Jadi jangan sampai telat untuk submission-nya ya, karena ini kesempatan yang bagus. Bahkan nanti jika peminatnya banyak akan bisa diperbanyak ya untuk startup terpilihnya. Jadi semuanya akan mendapatkan fasilitas dalam membangun digital startup-nya. Tadi seperti cloud computing, ya ini diberikan oleh Huawei, kemudian juga software as a service oleh teknologi partner, ini seperti Huawei Cloud, Sprint Asia, Cloud Kilat, dan lain sebagainya. Kemudian juga benefit lainnya, kami akan mempertemukan startup Bapak Ibu dengan angel investor. Saat ini sudah ada 5 kandidat yang sudah terhubung, ya, yang nantinya akan kita perkenalkan finalisnya. And also this event collaborate with community partner, ya, like HIPMI Kimdo, the Small Medium Enterprise Association or community, and then Eduplex, Tiang Space, You Excellent, Bisa AI, and so on. Ya, jadi di sini juga eventnya juga dibantu oleh community partner, and then also sponsored by Huawei and Bayarin, and also Indonesia Artificial Intelligence Ecosystem. Jadi event ini bisa diikuti oleh Bapak Ibu ya sampai dengan 31 Oktober jadwal untuk submission-nya. Jadi jangan sampai telat untuk submission-nya. Kemudian Bapak Ibu bisa melihat template-nya, proposalnya ada di ai-creation.id. Ya. Kemudian bisa register ya di menu masuk di sini. Kemudian masukkan email yang didaftarkan. Kalau belum punya akun, daftar di sini, klik di sini. Kemudian download guidebook-nya, ya. Ini logo AI Creation sama guidebook-nya bisa diunduh ya langsung. Kemudian kita bisa membaca bagaimana cara submit-nya, ketentuan proposalnya dan lain sebagainya. Ini tidak terlalu kompleks ya ketentuan proposalnya. Jadi proposalnya ini pendaftarannya bisa melalui aicreation.id/ideation. Kemudian nanti masukkan timnya, dan ini pada saat pendaftaran diusahakan per tim ya. Jadi selama sampai dengan 31 Oktober submissionnya ini diusahakan tim ya. Jadi kalau belum punya tim bisa networking di event ini ya. Ini banyak, ada 130-an peserta. Jadi silakan bisa networking. Nanti ada sesi networkingnya. Okay, about how to submit the proposal, the participant can enter or join the website, officially website in ai-creation.id, and then continue to account registration. After that, download the guidebook and forming a team, and after that we can submit the proposal with the template. Oke, mungkin itu penjelasan terkait dengan kegiatan AI creation. Mas Abdul sudah bisa join ya? Mas Abdul? Belum ada suaranya? Ya, Abdul? Ya, suaranya belum masuk, Mas Abdul. Boleh dicoba lagi, atau melalui handphone mungkin. Ya, oke. Sambil menunggu moderatornya untuk persiapan, jika ada pertanyaan dari Bapak Ibu, boleh terkait dengan AI creation, boleh dikirimkan di public chat. If any question, please send to the public chat about the AI creation event. Jika ada pertanyaan, silakan boleh sebelum kita masuk pada sesi event pada pagi hari ini, yaitu Build Global Digital Startup Utilizing AI Technology. Any question about AI creation event? How to submit the proposal or other information, please? Ya, selamat pagi. Mohon maaf karena ada kendala di moderator. Jadi hari ini saya akan coba menggantikan sebagai moderator. Good morning, Mr. Randal. Okay, so today, okay, because there is a problem in a moderator by using his microphone. So, okay, my name is Octave. Today I would like to change the moderator today. Okay, so ya jadi Bapak Ibu sekalian ada sedikit pergantian moderator, mohon maaf sebelumnya. Jadi hari ini kita akan segera masuk ke dalam sesi inti pada hari ini, yaitu terkait dengan build global digital startup utilizing AI technology. Telah bersama dengan kita Mr. Randal Wang, Solution Sales Head Huawei Indonesia Computing Business Department. Mr. Randal ini saat ini bekerja di Huawei, terutama pada bidang artificial intelligence. Beliau banyak menangani terkait dengan AI, kemudian ya solusinya, kemudian terkait dengan model arts ya salah satunya yang nanti akan diceritakan, yang semuanya masuk ke dalam Huawei Cloud. Dan ini Huawei Cloud ini saat ini juga yang nantinya akan bisa didapatkan oleh Bapak Ibu ketika mengikuti event AI Creation dan Submit proposal sebanyak 30 tim nanti akan diberikan fasilitas Huawei Cloud. Okay, Mr. Randal, for this event is yours. Please, you can share your screen.
Okay, let me share my screen firstly.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pat. So can everyone see my screen? So, can you see my screen?
Not yet. In the button below, in the right corner.
Yeah, right corner. Yes.
Okay, there is the button.
From my part, it shows it already starts screen. It already starts share.
Not yet. Wait. Randall, there is a button on the right corner.
Yeah, right below. Yeah, I already click, and in my part it shows it already starting sharing my screen. Maybe I stop again and start again.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Click again. Share your entire screen. Okay. Yeah. Success.
Okay, success, right? Okay, no problem. Okay, let me start. Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Randal Feng. I'm from Huawei Cloud Indonesia Cloud Business Unit. I'm responsible for Huawei AI solution development and promotion in Indonesia. So today is very appreciated to join this event and share Huawei's AI technology and our Huawei understanding for how to build the global digital startup. So today my topic will divide into 4 parts. So firstly, I will just give a brief introduction about the AI industry view, and let's see what is currently AI industry now. Secondly, I will introduce the currently typical AI technologies which is suitable for AI startups, and the startups should focus on this AI technology for the typical. And thirdly, I will introduce some AI application scenarios, and which is already mature and also good for the staff to invest. And last, I will give a brief introduction about the Huawei Cloud AI. And I will show you what is Huawei Cloud AI do and what we can provide to our users. Later, after that, I will give you a short demo about how to use the Huawei Cloud AI, especially for our AI development platform. So first, let's have an overview about the current AI development. As you know, AI is the overall outcome of 60 years of the development in the ICT. So in the 1956, the concept of AI was originally proposed at the Dartmouth workshop organized by the John Magazine, an assistant professor at the Dartmouth College. That was more than 60 years ago. Since that time, we have seen two AI winters, but AI has never stopped advancing. In 1971, Intel released the first microprocessor. That was almost 50 years ago. And as you know, more laws has continued to hold true throughout the robust development of ICT industry. If we overlay graphics of AI and ICT development cycles over the last 60 years, it is clear that advances in AI and ICT was closely related. Academic research findings and engineering advance go hand in hand. In the past, we went through two AI winters, as you know, because the expectation for AI were much beyond the engineering capacity of the ICT industry at that time. The good news is that each winter eventually gave way to the spring, making a new beginning of the AI. So in after 1990s, in about 2006, the Professor Hurton of the Canada proposed the deep learning technology, and the third stream of AI development has come. AI has entered into an era of the cognitive intelligence that focuses on the data and autonomous learning. Algorithm, computing power, and data are all driving the development of AI technologies. Compared to general purpose AI, dedicated AI is the main direction of this spree. AI ventures are hot, and the number of AI startups is increasing. And the number of the investment events and amounts are also rising steadily. At present, AI technology is in a critical period from the basic R&D to the industrialization, and initially progress has been made in commercial application. And currently, why the AI developed so fast? Because currently our AI use a lot of the algorithm based on deep learning. So when sample data is input a computer, a general algorithm uses the data to perform calculation and output a result. Machine learning algorithms are quite, are very different. They input the data and desired results and output an algorithm model. That is an algorithm model that converts into data into results. So the machine learning computers are able to generate their own models, which in turn provide the corresponding judgment to achieve the result of some kind of AI. So the industrial revolution ultimately the handcraft industries, while machine learning automated the machines themselves. In recent years, deep learning is a subset of the machine learning and AI, which has not significantly surpassed the research on natural network learning of the last century, 1980s, in the ideas and the stereo. However, thanks to the output of the massive data and the improvement of the computing power capabilities. Previously, highly complex algorithms have been put into practical results that apparent in the areas with clearer boundaries than in the past, greatly boosting the application of the machine learning in the industrial practice. So although the algorithm and the computing power and the data is enough now, and also can improve our AI developers, but we still have some challenges. Although the open source environment greatly reduces the entry threshold in the AI area, the industry and economy also have proposed open source tools and framework for deep learning model training, such as the Caffe, PyTorch, TensorFlow, Syndicate. Although different frameworks also have their own strengths, but they cannot meet all the challenges faced by the enterprise when processing the complex services. Challenges in performance, memory support, and usage efficiency require enterprise to adapt the framework to their own business needs. In the data processing, network design, algorithm model training, multiple machine parallel computing, and application and performance optimization, there are many important issues that can be solved by non-open source technologies or mature solutions. But because they are non-open and mature and commercial solutions, so they rely heavily on the technical experts to explore and solve. And for breakthroughs and innovation in the advanced algorithm, technologies of different companies still vary greatly. And currently, AI investment and AI industry develop very fast. If you see this table, you can find that since 2015 to last year, the AI investment increased very much, especially last year, 2020, because of the COVID-19. A lot of AI technology has been developed and deployed for the pandemic prevention. And you can see for the AI enterprise also increased greatly since 2015 to 2020. You can find that every year number of the new AI stack companies increased. Currently in 2020, the total trend has reduced a bit, but still increased. And but currently, the AI investment in Indonesia actually is very low. So compared with other countries, developed countries, currently Indonesia investment for per capita only $0.2 US. So if you find this investment, Indonesia is very low. So if you calculate based on this capital, so every year for Indonesia, for the total investment is less than $60 million US. So if you compare with this table, it's even less than totally 0.1% in the world. But if you compare with the other developed countries and Singapore, United States, their investment is very high. So based on this table, it shows that AI have a good future and investment grow very fast. But currently, Indonesia AI investment is not booming. But I think Indonesia, because have a great population and great data set in future, I think for this investment should be increased very fast in future. So this is the AI industrial map currently in the templates demo in Indonesia. So you can find that Indonesia AI industrial map, they're also including 3 layers. One is base layer, one is tech layer, and one last is the application layer. You can find that for the base layer, they are still holding by the foreign companies, because currently in the base layer, the investment, the technical investment is very huge. So currently Indonesia still do not have the big technical giant. Indonesia can invest in this area, especially in the chip area. The chip area investment is very huge. And in the technical layer, you can find that there are a lot of local Indonesia technical vendors in this layer, especially for the speech recognition and the NLP area, because currently for this area, Indonesia, you have the dedicated language and it's Bahasa. So I think for foreign vendors, they cannot do well compared with the local vendors. So that's why so many local AI startups invest in this area. And for the computer vision and the image and text recognition area, actually currently still have some AI startups, but it is very small. And compared with the foreign vendors, they need to compete with them. So currently, these do not have the huge competitive compared with the foreign vendors. And also compare with the data processing. In the data processing, also have some local vendors, but also the strong vendors still from the foreign countries, especially from US. They are good at this area. So in the application area, I think there are a lot of the local vendors, especially for the new retail. In the new retail, actually there are some local e-commerce giants. They invest a lot in the areas in the new retail. And for the smart city, Indonesia also have some good vendors such as Nodeflex and Clue. They are good for this area. But for the security protection, especially for the sensor, especially for the AI cameras, still holding by some Chinese vendors such as Huawei, Dahua, Hikvision Vision. And for the FLANs and IoT, there are also some local AI vendors, especially for the FLANs. Currently, the P2P FLANs is very popular in Indonesia. So there are lots of local AI startups focused on this area. So in the summary, currently in Indonesia, the AI industries compared with other countries, the AI industry develops very fast. But Indonesia still do not have any vendors in the base layer. Actually, same as China, same as the AI industry China, and Indonesia also focus on the application layer and the technical layer. And this is the analysis of the AI policy, social, economic, and technical environment in Indonesia. Currently, for the political issue, currently Indonesia become open now. Since last year, Indonesia has released the national AI strategy and make the AI strategy to support the Indonesia making Indonesia for 2045. And this year, by Jokowi also asked the BBT become the driving force in the AI development in Indonesia. So in future, Indonesia have a dedicated government entity to guide Indonesia industries to develop the AI. And for the economy part, actually Indonesia for the digital economy already become the top 1 in the South Asia, and also for the digital economy develop very fast. So I think the strong digital economy foundation will improve the AI develop fast in future. And in the technical area, currently the AI algorithm become more and more mature than before. So it already start to use from the internet era for other traditional industries such as the finance, smart city, government, and the manufacturing. And in the algorithm, I think for the three parts, the computing vision, the speech recognition, and the natural language processing will become the main technologies that startups and other areas start to use in their sectors. And for the social currently, Indonesia public aptitudes for AI still has changed from the doubtful to curious and accepting. And many universities already start open the AI courses in the university, and many people start to interesting about the AI. So this has raised the public concerns about AI, but currently there are still some data leak issues cause the cybersecurity issue happen. So this has raised the public concerns about the data privacy. So this part, I think in future, Indonesia also need to focus on the cybersecurity part to protect the data and the people's privacy, so that it can help the AI develop fast. So in the second part, I will introduce the 4 typical AI technologies. Actually, these 4 typical technologies already become very mature now. So if you are a startup, you do not want to develop the new algorithm from the beginning. So I suggest you should focus on these 4 typical AI technologies. By this way, it can help you to build your AI user cases as soon as possible. So for the first typical AI technology is the computing vision. So as you know, vision is the most important source of information in human brain. So visual information accounts for more than 83% of the external information received by human brain every day. So for AI to have a human-like intelligence, should be able to see and understand the outside world is critical. So the previous winners of the AI World Cup, as you know, is the immediate large-scale vision. ImageNet large-scale vision recognition challenge have achieved 10 times improvement in image recognition accuracy with 10 years, demonstrating greatly advances in computing vision technology. The improvement of computing vision technology provides the core technical basis for the commercializing of the image recognition. The image recognition can be clarified into dramatic and static image recognition. So commercial application scenarios including to government-based intelligent security protection, to business-based finance, intelligent driving, intelligent marketing, to consumer business is photo, beauty, social media, and live streaming. Currently, actually, the security protection has long sensitive to image recognition accuracy, high demand, and intensive for the price changes. Therefore, the implementation is very mature in this area now. So for the healthcare part, the medical image recognition market has great potential, but the tolerance for error is low, and it needs to go through a long development process. The application of the image recognition in the finance, in the banking, is face verification. So built-in image recognition chips in mobile phones and the built-in image recognition chips in mobile phones are become one of the good points of the competitions about the micro smartphone manufacturers. So for the computing vision is very much now. So if you are a startup, I suggest that you need to focus on this area and develop the new user case and start case for the based on business requirements. Second typical AI technology is speech recognition. Speech recognition actually it converts speech into text one by one. Speech recognition is the basis of the man-machine interaction in the future. With the development of machine learning technology, speech recognition accuracy increases continuously in quiet and noise-free scenarios. Currently, the speech recognition accuracy of the mainstream vendors already reached to 99%. Speech recognition has strict requirements on the application environments. In real speech environments, the far-field noise, speech speed, and domain-specific knowledge will seriously affect the accuracy of the speech recognition. So in the terms of applications, consumer and voice recognition is mainly applied to mobile devices, cars, and homes. It is used to transform the original man-machine interaction model to upgrade the existing man-machine interaction touch model to a more natural voice interaction model. So the business end is designed to improve the manual efficiency based on the vertical industry requirements. For example, the intelligent customer service can intercept more than 80% of the user requirements and can also be used to court hearing in the court charge, and also for hospital cases input and a voice search engine. So in the internet scene, in the IoT era, mobile phones can be awakened as a network entrance. Human-machine voice interaction will become the most natural way of interaction. People can use voice to connect the intelligent hardware around them. So that means, in future, currently in the e-commerce and the mobile internet, the smartphone is still the entrance of the traffic. But in future, the smart devices which have the speech recognition will replace the smartphones to become the traffic entrance. So if you are startups, I suggest you also focus on this area to develop the smart devices, to develop the smart algorithm to support the speech recognition. And the third one is the semantic recognition. So the core of the NLP is natural language. The core of the natural language process is semantic recognition. Semantic recognition has a good performance in command-based dialogue and multi-round question and answer dialogue, and is mainly used in chatbots, including the intelligent consumer service robots. Chatbots similar to chatbot similar to like the Xiaomi Xiaoai speaker. If you buy the Xiaomi Xiaoai speaker, actually it is similar to that. And also the various physical robots. Chatbots are of greatly help in scientific scenarios such as online intelligent customer service. The customer service questions are mainly answered. The customer questions are mainly answered by scientific products or a single vertical domain. After an enterprise corpus is fully accumulated, they can provide users with satisfactory answers, intercept and answer high-frequency questions, and handle the rest manually. The intelligence of chatbots is consistently improving and can implement multiple rounds of conversations. However, answer questions still very common, and open domain chats currently still cannot implement it. That is, chats between friends with no limited domain, no purpose, and no limited topic are still not possible. At present, the physical robot market is booming, including the home education, the robots. However, these robots are more like the intelligent tools, mainly due to the bottleneck in the semantic recognition technology. The level of the intelligence is still not very high. Speech recognition and the semantic recognition are closely related, and in many application scenarios, speech and semantics are mainly nested together. And currently, as you know, last year the OpenAI also released a huge NLP model, which is GPT-3. Actually, GPT-3 currently can support and for the multiple round dialogue. So compared with the traditional NLP model, it is much smarter and much easier to use, but it is not cost friendly. That means actually GPT-3 is developed by the OpenAI and Microsoft. So why they want to build this big AI model, big NLP model? Because they want to use the model to solve all the NLP problems. But if you are startups, if you do not have huge investment, huge money, I think you cannot training and get this model by yourself. So that means in future, if you are use your small model to compete with this big vendors, big model, so it is not competitive. So for my suggestions this NLP area, if you are staff, you focus on the application part. Do not focus on the algorithm part, because in algorithm part, in future, the big vendors will use the AI model to compete every small vendors and beat them. And the fourth typical technology is the knowledge graph. Knowledge graph technology aims to describe variously anti-concepts and their relationships. Generate the triplet consists of entity, relation, entity, and each entity has its corresponding attributes. Large-scale knowledge graphs often contain hundreds of millions of entities and tens of billions of attributes and billions of relationships, resulting from large amounts of structured and unstructured data mining. Based on the specialized knowledge map and the natural language understanding technology built on it, the machine can give full play to the system performance of inferencing and judgment, answer questions with relative precision. Knowledge graph can be divided into two parts. One is the general knowledge graphs that are widely used, and another one is industrial knowledge graphs that are specific to a dedicated domain. The general knowledge map emphasizes integration of more entities. It is mainly applied to the fields such as the intelligent search and the intelligent questionnaire and QA, intelligent QA. The industrial knowledge map needs to consider different business scenarios and users, and usually depend on specific industries, such as the human finance, public security, healthcare, and e-commerce. The attributes and data pattern of entities are often rich. So in the first part, after I talk about the typical AI technologies, in the first part, I think for the AI stuff, most of the AI stuff, if you are beginning, you need to focus on the AI application area first, because the application means the business. If you can find the business and develop business, then you can become big and become large. So in this area, I will discuss about some scenario business for AI for different cross industries. The first one is the finance industry. Actually, finance industries always they start to using some AI, but currently the UI still mainly not focus on the core business. They still focus on the valuable added business. and for the AI, they also focus on the device part. So you can find it for the in the financial area for the VTM, AM, personal terminal cameras, and the devices and the self-service terminal. It already start to deploy and already start to deploy with the AI technology, and it can cover the traditional and the low-mode operation of the finance industry, such as the remote registration, the withdrawal without card, or VIP customer identification by using the cameras, also including the internet registration and the login, and also for the retail, you use your face to pay like that. And another typical scenarios is for the finance industry is the smart risk control. Because currently the risk control is very important for the financial industries. You can consider it to be a core business of the financial institutions. In the era of big data, human financial institutions can use the AI to explore the enhancement of the multi-dimensional find data to anti-fraud technologies, such as user login behavior, including the login time, devices, IP address, home location, login type, and login results, and also such as the user graph relationships. They can use all this data to analyze the social relationships and the fund relationship between users. So by this way, if they find a good users, and they also can search this good users, the friends, his social relationship, and also recommend the similar product to his friends. So by this way, to improve the sales. And another is the weak trustworthiness, such as the character consuming habits, such as the preference for buying certain types of goods at a certain time of the week. So by this way, to recommend the proper result, recommend the proper product to the proper person at the right time. So by this way, also to improve the sales, and also implement the internet risk control. And in future, because of by using AI data, AI big data, the risk control can become more real time and personalized, and can cover a wider range of the people. And another application scenario is the public safety. So for the public safety, the multiple intelligent technologies such as the computer vision, the speech recognition, the machine learning already can identify multiple biometric features such as the faces, the fingerprints, the iris, the fingerprints, the voice prints, and the germs. These biometric features such as face, fingerprint, and iris accounts for more than 80% of the global biometric market share. So in the actual public security service scenarios, AI can also perform intelligent analysis on public security big data based on the construction of a knowledge network of people, scenes, place, objects, and organizations. AI can monitor, warn, and make decisions in real time. By this way, to improving the public security cognitive prediction and decision-making capabilities. With the advancement of the AI and big data technologies, hardware deployment and the application of HD cameras and sensors has also greatly been used. So this is also a huge market for the public safety. So if you are a startup, I suggest you do not just focus on the algorithm and the application. You also need to focus on the equipment integration, such as the camera, the AI cameras, the AI system, AI service integration. This is also a huge market in future. And the smart city and safe city will also become more and more popular to the two garment markets. So compared with the other industries, other cross industries, the public safety currently is the hugest AI market in the cross industries. So most of the vendors, if they start their business, they usually focus on this area. So Indonesia, like the Noteflex and Clue, currently because they also focus on this public safety area and the smart city area. So you can find that their revenue compared with other AI startups is much higher than them, because this area is really booming and really higher for the market share. And in the public security domain, the facial recognition is the most common, the most easy technology, and the most low bottleneck technology which is used. The facial recognition technologies can integrate intelligently analyze surveillance videos at the road checkpoints, the stations, subway stations, and airports, and compare the detailed faces with those in blacklist in real time. If the comparison succeeds, an alarm is reported to the police officers. In addition, to effectively utilize massive civilization videos, computer vision technologies can automatically process massive video content and monitor, track, and analyze key targets such as motor vehicles and all non-motor vehicles. With search functions such as image search, the case investigation, and the civilization deployments are more intelligent and convenient. So actually, the face recognition is a low-mode and common technology for AI, but because it's low-mode, so it can be used for different scenarios and for different areas. So compared with other AI technologies, it have more benefits and also have a more large scale for usage. If you are a startup, I suggest you can focus on this area, because this area is low investment at the beginning and also is very easy technology to deploy the AI. So compared with the beginners of the AI startups, it is easy to handle, easy to process. And we can also find a lot of different use cases for different cross industries. And another start case is for the healthcare. As relative the complexity of life, human understanding of medical health is still very shallow, and AI technology at present cannot effectively meet various challenges. But this does not prevent us from placing high hopes on AI technology, and we are trying to change the distribution of the medical resource through advanced technologies. It frees doctors from the heavy workload and helps them reduce the misdiagnosis, improve accuracy, and even explore the new treatment options to find the new effective drugs. And AI can be used a lot of scenarios in the healthcare, such as you can use the AI to record the doctor's invoice so that the doctor no need to input based on the laptop or manually, and also can use the AI to diagnose the disease based on the medical image, and also can provide the suggestion based on diagnosis suggestion based on the experience, and also can help doctors to develop the medical drug. But currently, AI still have in the medical healthcare, it is still compared with other in cost industry, it is still high level bottleneck, because for the data labeling, you need the high experience the doctors. But for this part, for this area, the doctor is still not enough to support. So if you check even the big vendors in this area, they still do not well, such as IBM Wilson and the Google Stream. Actually, they already do the business for this area more than 6 or 8 years, but still do not have a good market. So if you are if you want to start your AI business in Azure, I suggest you must be sensitive for it and think carefully for it. And for the AI for healthcare, the most easy is to deploy AI is the medical image analysis. So currently, 80% of the medical data comes from the medical imaging. The medical image is mainly based on the static image recognition, which is more mature than video processing technology. According to the Internet Medical Alliance, medical imaging data is growing at 63% a year, and the number of the dedicated doctors is growing at just 2% a year, leaving a huge gap in the supply of the doctors. So in the AI plus healthcare field, AI medical image recognition accounts for the largest population of the investment compared with other areas. And the AI image recognition has a low tolerance for the recognition errors. Currently, medical image recognition mainly focuses on a single disease, such as the lung cancer, and single devices, such as CT images. In future, it is difficult to obtain medical images data by breaking the limitation of the single diseases and the single devices. In particular, medical image labeling needs to be performed by as I said, for the labeling work need to be processed by the professional doctors. Also can make this area is a high cost, high investment, and not easy to get the exactly AI model. So if we are startups, I also suggest if you really want to start your AI business in healthcare, I think this the medical image analysis should be the first start case you can invest and to get involved in this area. And another scenario is the industrial manufacturer. Also, as the awareness of young people currently, even in China or Indonesia, the young people currently they do not want to work in factory because in factory they work in repetitive and manual labor. So the labor costs in relative fields are rising rapidly, and the demand for the connect and the intelligent automatic devices in the industrial manufacturing is growing. So I think this would be a good future for the factories, especially for the manufacturers, to start to deploy the AI and replace human repetitive the work. So currently, therefore, you can focus on the 4 areas. First, you use AI to detect the equipment health. Secondly, you use the computing machine to detect the faults. Thirdly, is use the AI to optimize the equipment performance. By this way, to improve the production and reduce the failure. And the last is 3D sorting boards. By this way, to deploy the robots to replace repetitive work in the factory. Actually, currently Indonesia also have a strategy. Indonesia making 2045. So in future, the AI used for the manufacturer should have a good future in Indonesia. And but currently the problem is the ICT technologies in the manufacturing industry still very low. Currently, they still build the IT system based on the very traditional architectures. So it is not easy to get the data and also not easy to deploy the AI in this manufacturer factory. So I think the first way, if the Indonesia the manufacturer enterprise want to deploy the AI firstly, I suggest firstly they need to change their IT architecture firstly. So changing their architecture from the silo architecture to the data shared architecture. So by this way, can connect more data. So if you have data, you can use the data to train the model and use the model to deploy the AI. And another important is mobile and internet implement. Actually, this area, because it's also very low bottleneck, so there are a lot of the staff invested in this area, and also have many use case for this area, such as the voice assistant, machine interaction, and instant music, also the photo optimization. Because this area is easy to enter and also very low cost, low investment for the staff. So I suggest you, if you are staff, you do not have a huge investment from the venture, maybe you can try to this area and invest in this area. And in this area, like the big vendors, like the Google, like the Facebook, they do not care much for this area because this area is small revenue, but for small startups, this area is very good to deploy the AI, to develop the AI, because you can find different user cases, different business cases based on your understanding, based on your customer. So that if you can match your business requirement to your customer, you can get your revenue, and also easy to get your customer based on different requirements. And the retail is also a very good area for the AI. Actually, retail currently for the e-commerce company, they invest a lot in this area, and they already deploy the AI for the different phases of the retail, from the design, from the manufacturer, from the learning management, supply chain management, e-commerce, and offline retail. So already all the chain can be deployed the AI and use the AI to improve the efficiency and increase the sales. So compare with the traditional the retail industries, if you want to start your business in this area, you also must focus on the data sharing problems. So because currently still a lot of especially for the traditional retail industries, their IT system also very traditional. Their data in the manufacturer data and the sales data, they cannot collaborate and combine together. They cannot share with each other. So currently it is hard to them to analyze data and provide the AI model to the retail industries to use. So I think for the first problem, to retail industry to deploy AI, also seems as the manufacturer should change the IT architecture, make the data is floating, make the data is sharing in their IT system. And the most important one for the retail is and easy to deploy is the supply chain management. So in the new situations, the traditional supply chain is facing 4 main challenges. One is the plan management, one is the business monitoring, one is cost control and customer service, which involves the warehouse address selection before warehousing strategy, and the sales forecast, and also including the inventory optimization after warehousing optimization, and warehousing clearance. So as well as the shipment distribution routine plan, and other links. The choice of the warehouse and the distribution of logistics are the core of the supply chain management. So how to set the number of the hubs and the location of the hubs have a greatly influence on the cost of the final transportation. Distribution routine planning involves route optimization and vehicle scheduling problems. By combining real-time demand, time window, load-bearing constraints, and other factors, the delivery routes is formulated to a minimum nice cost. So for this area currently, especially for the e-commerce vendors, they already very developed, such as Alibaba, such as AWS. They even to monitor every delivers behaviors to the deploy. So by this way to improve the efficiency. And for the revenue management, it's also very important as a good strategy to develop AI. So the high volume SKUs and the daily sales making the pricing management increasing complex. The traditional experience-based batch pricing solution cannot cover multiple dimension scenarios. And the unreasonable pricing frequently occurs. So intelligent pricing solutions based on the operational optimizing can integrate and analyze multiple dimensional data such as transaction data, behavior data, and the competition data. The optimal pricing and the sales strategies under different scenarios such as standard and non-standard pricing and the innovation product pricing are found. And the traditional patch pricing is optimized by different pricing, dramatic pricing, and combination pricing. For the promotion management, it also can be implemented by managing promotion laws, clarifying commodities based on the promotion laws and the sensitivity, establishing promotion optimizing models based on the market development and the enterprise objective. And it can also is supporting determining promotion method to increase the sales revenues without increasing traffic investment. And for the advertising market, it is also a very good area to start the AI business. And compared with the AI in the traditional industries, the combination of the AI and advertisement markets already very mature now. So thanks to the good informalization and the networking foundation in the digital marketing field, the outstanding technical innovation of the internet companies. So the advertisement seen by the users in the search engines and the information flows products like the video website and the TVs can be intelligently analyzed by the AI algorithm on multiple dimensional big data. AI aims to provide enterprise with intelligent creativity, marketing strategy, and effective monitoring, and accurately recommend users based on scenarios, content, and channels to deliver high-value information, which can meet users' real requirements. And for the advertising and the marketing area, you also collaborate with other huge other technologies such as AI. So currently you can use the AI and mobile phone to provide the simulation of the product show, and also you can use the live stream platform. That in the live stream platform, you can integrate the AI technologies to provide the beauty, to detect your behavior and show the product based on the dedicated scenarios. And also for the VOD platform, the video content is structured based on the AI. So this is also a very matched market. And for startups, I suggest you also need to care about this area because this area is also easy to deploy. But there's a problem is currently in this area, the big vendors like the TikTok, like the YouTube, they're already very advanced. So I suggest you can more focus on the dedicated areas such as AI application. For the AI application, you can develop based on a dedicated scenario, based on dedicated product. So by this way, to find some opportunity in this area. And for the transportation is also very mature scenarios for developing AI. So AI algorithm can analyze and predict the information generated by traffic travel. The application of AI technology derives a set of the intelligent devices and enables the intelligent processing capabilities for the existing devices application. And the services can assist the traffic management in better decision making, so that traffic flows can travel in the most efficient manners. improving traffic flow efficiency and traffic intelligence. So in future, human participation and processes will generate a weekend in intelligent transportation solutions, which is expected to reach the level of automation. And for the transportation, I think currently the most hot pop area is autonomous driving. So according to the SAD level clarification, the autonomous driving has generally developed from the L1, L2 weak driving assistant to L3 semi-autonomous driving, like the Tesla, they have L3 semi-autonomous driving. So in the weak driving assistance, the virtual surveillance system can perform the physical detection and attention detection and guest regulation for the drivers in the vehicle, providing support for the handover of human motion control rights for semi-autonomous drivers, taking into account safety, driving assistance, and the interactive environment in the vehicle. In semi-autonomous driving, rules are easier to summarize, data is easier to connect, and the relative areas are easier to make security requirements. So the autonomous driving technologies can be first applied in the areas such as the high-speed service, truck transport, and the low-speed minibus in the campus, and the specific production. And in the massive travel world, autonomous driving will generally be under certain speed limits, such as the L3 self-driving car within 60 kilometers per hour are already in production. Humans drive on the relatively simple closed roads, such as parking lots, highways, or loop roads. In future, fully automated driving, the data driving sensors, and the decision-making algorithm cannot cooperate with open and dynamic environment, and how the autonomous vehicles understand human intentions and the communication with drivers of mature vehicles still have great challenges in future. But I think for these areas, for the startups in Indonesia, I think also a good area to invest, because for it, maybe company Tesla can provide autonomous driving autonomously algorithm, but their algorithm for AI, for the autonomous, I think is not suitable for Indonesia road condition. So must have a local Indonesia vendors to develop this area and develop the local AI model. So if you can focus on in this area fast, you could have a great future. At least maybe in future, when Tesla 1 to 2 months the business in Indonesia, they can buy the algorithm, buy the AI model from you. So you can get a lot of benefit from the accuracy by them. And for the intelligent customer service, currently also very mature now. So the traditional customer service inquiry is typically labor intensive and is seen as the most likely job to be completed, disrupted, and replaced by AI. However, according to the current practice, AI is more used to assist human decision-making and work. That is through phone customer service, online customer service, apps, SMS, WhatsApp, and intelligent robot terminals to interact with customer in voice or text to understand customer shared business requirements, respond to the service inquiries raised by the customer, and limits to a specific service models based on the service of customers, improving the efficiency of the mature customer service construction. Currently, the mature application of the intelligent customer service are mainly in the after-sale phases, mainly in the standard answering of the repeated questions. So in the future, the application of intelligent customer service will continue to be upgraded, and the currently program-centric will be transformed into the user-centric intelligent voice assistant. instead of robots serving enterprise, they serve every users. And the smart home also a very good market. So since 2017, many companies already launched their smart speakers in turn. User can interact with the speaker to listen to music, obtain the information, and manage their lives. They can also control other connected smart applications and smart control devices through the speaker. In addition to using the speakers as the smart inverse central control, home appliance devices such as TVs can also have their own voice control system to adjust the volume, change channels, and fast forward, backward video resource, and search for videos. In addition to the intelligent voice interaction, other AI technologies can also enable families. For example, the computer vision technology can recognize TV videos content so that user can learn about the actors who are interested in them in real time. Surveillance cameras can also use visual algorithm to intelligently track moving objects, identify human movements, and assist speaker relationships, effective ensuring the family property security. So currently, Indonesia still do not yet have your own Indonesia brand smart speaker, because currently Indonesia still do not yet have the hardware manufacturer can manufacture the speaker. But I think Indonesia can also develop your own brand smart speaker. I suggest because currently in China there are a lot of the smart speaker hardware, so you can cooperate with these Chinese vendors to OEM, ask them OEM speaker, and in the smart speaker to deploy your NLP and the speech recognition algorithm. So by this way, to put your local brand in Indonesia and release to Indonesia market. I think this should be a fast way to build the local Indonesia brand smart home speaker for this market. Okay, in the last part, I will introduce I will give a brief introduction about the Huawei Cloud AI, and I will show what is Huawei provide and how Huawei to support our customers. So this is a portfolio of Huawei Cloud AI solutions. So there are many challenges in the implementation of AI in the cross industries. So in order to address these challenges, Huawei Cloud provides the AI enablement service based on the model arts, Pro, and based on the computer knowledge. So you can find in this AI portfolio, we can provide end-to-end AI solutions. So from the basic layer, we can provide the infrastructure as a service, and in the platform as a service layer, we can provide the big data service, and in the AI platform service, we can provide the model apps, which is the one-stop AI platform, AI development platform. So by this platform, you can easily to develop the AI application and open the service to other users. And we also provide the model apps Pro. In the model apps Pro, we already integrate many the cross-industrial template for the different industries. So for different industries, they can use the AI kit to develop the AI application easy. They even do no need to understand how about what's the AI algorithm they use. They also do not no need to understand how to program it. They can use kit to develop the AI application fast. And also we also provide the logic compute to support the logic graph, the application. And based on this platform, we also provide the intelligent tool solutions for different cross industries. So by this way, the different cross experts, they can use the intelligent tools template to develop their applications for different cross industries. And we also have a big large model like Pangu, which is similar as the GPT-3. It is dedicated for the big NLP model and used for the programming, used for the news production, used for some other natural language processing. And we also cooperate with our partners to develop the industrial applications. So if you are a startup, you already have some AI application, you can collaborate with Huawei and put your application in our AI market. We can help you sell your AI application in our AI market. So by this way, to improve your revenue and also get benefit, and Huawei can also benefit for the ecosystem. So just talk about too much about our the total AI introduction. Maybe let me give a small samples about what is Huawei AI development platform, because this, if you just check the architecture, maybe you do not understand what can Huawei provide. So let me take a model X, for example. So this is a Huawei Cloud demo. So if you do not have ever tried Huawei Cloud before, I suggest you can register one account and try to use Huawei Cloud. Actually, in Huawei Cloud, there are a lot of service catalog for different scenarios. If you can find, we can provide the traditional basic infrastructure service. We can also provide the many platform of the service, such as for the AI. We have a lot of different AI use cases and AI service. So, for example, for the AI, we can provide the big data. The model X is one-time development for AI, and we can also provide the natural language processing and also the video and service, video content recognition. Actually, all these services is ready in our Huawei Cloud platform. If you are staff, you already have some idea to develop some business, I suggest you can directly use this ability and develop your applications. So by this way, to improve your development efficiency and reduce your cost. So let me take a model X, for example. So I will show you how to develop a very simple object detection applications. So this is the Model X dashboard. So in the Model X dashboard, we provide several tools to help you develop the AI model. For example, for the XML, you can use XML to develop the basic AI algorithm, basic AI model easily, such as image classification, object detection, predictive analysis, sound classification, text classification, and you also can use the algorithm management to integrate algorithm into Huawei Cloud. So firstly, let me take an example to how to develop the object detection. So firstly, you just create the ticket, create the object. So then select your original data set. So in the original data set, they are including a lot of the pictures I already uploaded to my object storage. So I just put the dataset outputs in this dictionary. I just create. So you can find that. So for the picture, for my dataset, original dataset already appears here. So I can use these tools for labeling. So I can use these tools for labeling. So because my application is object detection, so you can use it for labeling. So I added the label here. All right. So it is a one-stop platform. Sorry. Okay. So I already label 4. So okay, sorry. So after all the has been labeled, you can click here for training. It can be automated for training these demos. After finish training, you can directly deploy the service, and the service will be deployed in the Huawei Cloud in here for the real-time service. So this one, sorry, not this one. So this one is the previous service which I deployed before. So I can start it. So it is already start deploy in the Huawei Cloud. So in the Huawei Cloud, you can use we have provided the API. We provide this API. So in the API, you can use your own application to call the API to call this service, and the cost is very low to call the service. And if you want to test this your AI model, you can also upload the picture into this cloud service and to check. The service still starting, still deploying. After finish deploying, let me try. Okay, already start. So I can also use here to test. Use this link to test this model is okay or not. and predict. So it already provides the result. You can find that it already detects this object and it is inbound. And you can also use the API if you have the Postman. You can use the Postman to simulate it. So before I use the Postman I use this model art to develop a face comparison application. So let me use the face comparison. I will show you how to call the face comparison based on the API. So firstly, let us get the token firstly. The token and search and here input the token. And here I upload the two photos. I already updated these two. One in this photo. One in this photo. So I will use these two photos to compare and send the. Okay. Token not yet received. Okay. Maybe I use this firstly. This is another for flowers. Flowers recognition. I have uploaded the doses. Okay. Before that, I need to open the service. So I tested this one. I tested the flowers detection. Yeah, I use this. I use this Randal. Firstly, I input the API here. I just input the API here to get a token. Oh, sorry. Here to take a token. Uploaded this file. Okay. Confused. Oh, okay. Already output. You can find that. I already use this KPI, this API to call this service. And they already provide the result. You can find that the detection is good, more than 100, nearly 100%. Okay, I think this is today's presentation. Thanks everyone. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you to Mr. Randal, who has displayed the material very well and amazingly for today's webinar. Well, before entering the question and answer session, I will give a question and review of the material that has been submitted.
Okay, Pak.
Could you share the benefit using Huawei Cloud or the future of Huawei Cloud that focus on AI, deep learning, and machine learning?
Yes, but for the actually, I just share you one function of Huawei Cloud. So which one is model arts. So model arts compared with you use the traditional AI development method, it's much more easy because if you use your personal computer, use a GPU server to develop AI, you must install the server, install the environment firstly. You must install OS, install the network, install the development tools. Also install the framework. Sometimes you will meet a lot of problems when do this. But if you use Huawei Cloud, you can directly use our AI platform, such as model arts for other advanced AI service. You just use the API to call it, and you can by that way you can get the other service. So it will compare with you use traditional method. It is much more easy and also is very cheap. Because if you buy the GPU server or GPU personal computer, it will be expensive, high cost. But the Huawei Cloud is pay as you use. How much you use, how much you pay. If you just use it, and if you use it coordinately, I think it will be much cheap than the GPU server or GPU PC. Because most of stuff they are very initial, their investment is not huge. So I suggest that the pay-as-you-use model is much better than the stuffs. Okay, but this is my answer. But
Okay. Next question: how is the opportunity if we stabilizing AI based the digital startup?
Digital startup.
Digital, yes.
So but can you repeat again? Sorry.
Okay. How is the opportunity if we stabilizing AI?
Or specialization AI, you mean that computer AI is a digital startups?
Yes.
I think currently, as I mentioned, I introduced some application scenarios for the AI. I think currently the most suitable business for AI is public safety. Public safety because for deploying AI, they do not require huge accuracy for the AI model, and they also have a lot of the starter case. You can develop AI. For example, for example, you can use the AI to detect the criminal. You can use the AI to find the blacklist of the specific suspect, and you can also use the AI to detect the public safety, to detect the public service, such as the traffic. You can also use the AI to detect the business mode. How to say, to detect the people's behavior in the shopping mall, to detect what's their concern, what's their interest, so that can give you a more ideas to develop the AI. And so I suggest if you want to build the AI, I suggest you more focus on the image computing vision area, and especially for the public safety and the smart city area. There are a lot of cases there, and you can build more business there.
Okay. Thank you for your response. I want to ask your opinion. What is domain, for example, computer vision, NLP, and others, that will become popular in Indonesia?
Yes. So currently, because currently is for the traditional, for this AI algorithm, actually AI technology is very popular now, and it's very mature now. Actually, a lot of the foreign vendors, they have for the basic technology, they develop very well. So if you are startups, I suggest you do not invest much for the basic layer, for the basic algorithm, basic technology. You must think about how to use this technology to find the business case, to develop business. I think this is the most important, because if you compare with the big vendors from the foreign countries, like the AWS, like the Alibaba, like the Google, they are good enough for the AI technologies. So they already can provide the basic technologies, but their problem is they cannot find the user case or starter case. So I think if like the small startups need more focus on the starter case area, so that can avoid the direct competition with the big vendors, and also can get the revenue and the benefit from the AI technology.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Randal. I want to asking you one again about the industry startup. So AI industry is currently become popular business. How to get starting or change career to AI?
You mean the career to AI? You mean the technical?
Yes.
Oh, in the technical, actually, I suggest can deploy the AI for the value added business firstly. For example, for the currently in the careers, there are a lot of the branch office or branch sports. So in the branch sport, they are the main channel to sell their traffic, to sell their mobile phone cards. So you can deploy the AI technology in the smart branches. For example, you can deploy the AI cameras in the smart branches to detect the VIP customer. So when the VIP customer enter into a store, it can automatically to recognize this customer and detect the profile of this customer. So by this way, to provide the precision marketing to this dedicated customer to improve the user experience. This is the first start case. In the second start case, because the carriers, they need to build a lot of the network base station, right? So the network base station needs there's a lot, thousands of or 10,000 of all over the Indonesia. So it needs a lot of people to maintain it, or especially for the maintenance work. So I suggest you can use the AI technologies to do the maintenance and to analyze the failure or predict the failure. Actually, currently, Huawei has such a kind of solutions to support it. So they can use all the base station data to connect and analyze it and predict the failure and feed it back to the management and the operation team. By this way, to reduce the labor cost of the maintenance team. Okay, bye.
Okay, thank you for Mr. Randal. So next, there will be a question and answer session from participant to source. To participant who want to ask can write the question in the available chat column. Once again, I remind to participant who want to ask are expected to write the question in the format name clear agency question.
You mean which one?
Yes, I want to reading the question for you.
Okay.
The question from Mr. Muhammad Noval Muzaffar. Permission want to ask, what is the application of performance process related to global digital startup utilizing AI technology during the COVID-19 pandemic to date?
Okay, so the COVID-19 pandemic, I think this great start case is use the, which I introduced just now, uses the medical image clarification, medical image technical to support to detect the COVID-19 faster, because when pandemic suddenly happen, a lot of people need to go to hospital. They will take the CT images of their lung to check, to diagnose they have the pandemic or not, or they have the COVID-19 or not, or their situation is good or not. But if too many people go there, the doctors, I think, is not enough to diagnose one by one. So they can use the AI technology to analyze the images of the lung firstly. After that, can provide the guidance diagnosis to the doctors by this way to improve the doctor's efficiency. So this is the first user case. So second user case is similar like the big data. So currently, I think Indonesia already developed some of the COVID-19 apps. So every people log in the COVID-19 apps to register and input their route and input their location, where they are. So by this way, can analyze where does the people go, where does the people meet, where does the people touch. So by this way, to analyze the pandemic situation in Indonesia. But this is more similar like the big data. Do not have much knowledge about the AI, but the idea is the same.
Okay, thank you. That's it. The answering from Mr. Randal. So next question from Melvern Neander Salmon. Since I am a beginner in AI topic, what is the programming language that you recommend us to learn for the development of AI?
I think currently the most common, I suggest the first you need to consider the AI model framework. Usually we use the TensorFlow, which is the open source framework. And in Huawei, we also have our own open source framework, which name is Manus4. They are both support the Python. So the Python is a normal language for the programming. As I introduced just now, actually Huawei Model Arts already provide a one-stop platform. Actually, that platform is a low-code and a low-code platform. That means if you want to develop your application, you no need even programming. You just use that platform to just input your data set, process your data set, select the related algorithm, and then output your AI model, and train your model and deploy AI model. During all this process, no need programming. So this is also the Huawei Cloud benefit to support your AI development.
Okay, thanks for your answering, Mr. Randal. So the next question from the participant, from Mr. Andreas Budi Wahyu Katon. He asking, what are the advantage of using and utilizing AI technology? Can this advantage be useful for all technology companies engaged in IT?
Yes, actually, if we for the technology companies, especially for the IT, actually like for example, currently in the IT team, each company usually need to build the IT system, and also need to have the IT operation and the maintenance team. So the IT for the IT teams, they usually will meet different IT problems such as hardware failure or software failure. So before the technical company need to build a huge team to do the operation. But if you use the AI technology, you can build the AI ops solutions in your IT system. So the AI ops solutions can help you to do the automatic analysis of your IT system and provide the suggestion and also provide the warning to your maintenance team. So by this way, to reduce the labor cost of the maintenance team. So if you are interested, I suggest you refer to the AI ops solutions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for the answer. Next, the question from Mahfuz Ainur Rifan. He asking, is there any free feature to try provided in Huawei Cloud? Like I know IBM has provided free service to try their features.
Yes, actually, if you register Huawei Cloud, Huawei will provide some free service for you to trial. As I know, especially for the basic infrastructure service, you can have 30 days or more than 1,000 hours for trial. Like the storage service or the computing service or the database service. But if you want to try to use the AI service, currently still do not free of charge. But as my experience, if you want to try just want to learn the AI and use the Huawei Cloud AI service such as Model Arts, actually it's very cheap. Based on my experience, every month I only cost 550,000 IDR for learning based use of Huawei Cloud AI service. So it is very cheap compared with you buy a personal computer with a GPU card or buy the GPU server.
Okay, thank you for your answer. That's it, the answer, Mr. Mahmuz Ainur Rifan. Okay, next question from Mr. Fahri Ahmad Fadil. He asking, can you explain a little difference between AI and IoT and whether they can both be connected to each other?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, correct. But actually, AI and IoT usually cooperate with each other to use. IoT usually uses help to connect data and process the data, and after because all the AI technologies their AI model, when you train it, they must have the data input, right? If your data is not enough or sufficiently, or not good enough, or not huge enough, the AI model for training will not be good. So firstly, you must connect data. So how to connect data is I use IoT. The IoT devices in the edge, they can help you to connect enough data. After you connect data into the system, you must do the data process to make the data to meet the input requirement of the AI model, and use the data to train your AI model. After you get your AI model training, you can use your AI model for the inference. So when you inference, you also need to input the data. So the data source is also from the IoT input. So that's why usually AI and IoT, they are usually work together. So IoT like the data collection and the data control, and AI like the brain. Data help you to process, help you to do the inference, or to get out the results like this.
Okay, thank you. Maybe the answer can clear for Fahri Ahmad Fadil. So the next question, by your opinion, which most suitable sector of AI implementation, like transportation, healthcare, etc., on Indonesia?
I think in next 3 years, I think the most popular the AI business should be the public safety and the smart city, because this is have a low AI technology requirement, but the business scenario is good, and the business revenue is also good, very big enough. Like the other scenario, like the NLP, like the speech recognition, actually also have some requirement, but compared with the computing vision scenarios, the revenue is not as much. Because the Indonesia government also should have a strong investment in the smart city area. Because as you know, Indonesia will also build a new capital in Kalimantan. They also want to build the smart city there. So the smart city and the smart public safety should be a hot area for the AI investment.
Okay, that's it?
Yes, Bob.
Okay, thank you. So the next question from the Nelson Changraini. Mr. Randal, don't you think utilizing AI to these types of industrial already kind of obsolete? Maybe not in Indonesia. I mean, at this point, we have already too many competitors who are much ahead of us. What do you think about utilizing AI in agriculture sector?
Agriculture agriculture sector.
Yes, agriculture.
For the agriculture, I think for the AI must collaborate with IoT together. So by using IoT to connect the data, such as temperature, such as climate, to after you connect the data from the environment, then use the data to training your AI model, and use the AI model to do the influence and control your devices. And currently, in Indonesia, actually, Huawei already start to cooperate with some university to do the smart agriculture research, and by using Huawei technology to improve in the agriculture digital intelligence. So by as you mentioned, for the competitors, I think even the foreign companies, they also have the agriculture ability, but if they want to deploy their ability in Indonesia, they also need to readjust their AI model. I think for them, it is not easy to deploy their AI solution in Indonesia. I think Indonesia local companies also have the opportunities, because we are no better than them about the Indonesia environment, and you also can get the data immediately compared with them. So this is my answer.
Okay, thank you for Mr. Randal. So maybe any more to question? Okay, I think not have any more the question. So before closing the webinar, even at noon today, let me convey a little information. Friends, do not forget to attend to AI creation because the AI creation hub and AI creation competition that has been officially open with a selection of coaching programs and mentoring startups based on artificial intelligence batch 1 best for dream startup. Each selected the team will get intensive coaching to build and develop to the startup later. So for the participant, don't forget to attend in the chat because there are a gift for the participant to fill the attendance. Okay, I think have done. Any event timeline and requirement can be read through poster clearly, and AI creation will always provide the latest information on social media account and website AI creation in https AI creation ID. You can follow the Instagram at AI creation ID, or for more detailed social media account information and AI creation website will be shared by the committee as well. Okay, I think that's it. Look forward to all of you team. Thank you for the Mr. Randal, have the speaker today, and the chairman of the AI creation committee, as well as the participants who have listened to the event from the start to finish. I hope there is a lot of knowledge to be applied in everyday life. I present the committee in charge. I apologizing if there are any missed words and deeds. Finally, don't forget to follow the Instagram at AI Creation ID, and if you have the question, you can tell the committee your question. Okay, thank you, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Randal.
Thank you, Pak. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Okay.
Goodbye.